Last time on the Incorrigible Party. With the return of the work detail inmates, but no Kylia, Opal and Rumpke learn that she has been recruited as the doctor's assistant, leading to a confrontation in the infirmary as Helkruk resists Dr. Cockle's preparations to find the fine line between pain and pleasure. Opal, the stomping footfalls of Rumpke and the four guards, they fade away. And as they just kind of pass out of hearing, you hear a croaky, familiar voice kind of calls out in the dark, actually from the cell directly next to yours. Well, that's a dead dwarf rocking right there. I sure hope he wins. And you recognize this voice as the crushed windpipe of Mel, who you met earlier today.
Mel?
Jewel? Is that you?
Yeah, sorry about your voice box there, buddy. What do you mean? He's gonna die?
If it's going after the fights, they get dragged out of here all the time. But if he doesn't win, I mean, he's either gonna be killed in the fight or taken to the doctor.
Oh, it's like a fight to the death?
No, but things happen sometimes.
Wait, I heard you guys said we don't like the doctor.
No, not really.
Frick. You should have spoken up sooner.
Well, maybe I can't do anything. The guards aren't gonna listen to...
No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't either. It's okay.
Hey, Stan said you were interested in seeing the warden.
Yeah, I was. Why?
Well, I mean, I think I can help, kind of as a thank you for the spot today.
Really?
If you're interested.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing, but also, is the warden nice? I heard that he doesn't, Stan said he doesn't he's not really seen much.
Well, my first week here, I kind of got into a tussle at lunch, broke a couple fingers. And, of course, I was taken right to Dr. Cockle. I hadn't heard the stories about his experiments yet, being so new and all in the
Can
prison.
you elaborate on that? Experiments, you say?
Well, I mean, you seen, I think Stan mentioned, you saw the people all bandaged up and stuff in the cafeteria this morning. The doctor gives them something. That's what people say. Force feeds them drugs or, and does stuff to them. Hurts them.
Oh, no. You know what? I'm pretty sure that my friend Lila is his assistant now, because, she didn't come back to the cell, and my other friend, he's in solitary, and, now Rumpke's gone. This is just a mess.
His assistant? Well, that's weird.
Did he have an assistant before?
Nobody I saw. When they took me there, I got to the infirmary, and it was a horror show. There was people chained down, they were cut up, and
what?
Passed out on stupor, the works.
And the warden knows about this?
Well, I think so. When my turn came for treatment, and the doc kind of comes up to me, and he's wild looking, he's asked me something really weird that kind of stuck with me. He asked if I was seeking refuge from torment, or if I was begging for the sweet chorus of the heavens.
Okay.
What did somebody say to that? I didn't know what to say to him. I just wanted my fingers fixed up, I was starting to freak out in there too. So I didn't really choose. I told him that I wasn't a stranger to torment, and that I hear the sweet chorus every day. I don't know how it came to me. I just spatted something out, and I guess I said the right thing. The doc called me what did he say? He called me a fellow follower of the Maiden of Pain. That he could see I'd already ascended or something.
Maiden of Pain? Wow.
Yeah.
Ascended.
I still don't know what that means, but I just played along with it.
This doesn't sound very scientific and doctory. This sounds messed up.
It's as messed up as it sounds, So I played along with him, and
Right?
He just sent me with a guard, said I was going to see Warden Truescar.
Okay.
But on the way there, another fight broke out, and it, pulled away the guard that was escorting me to respond. And I didn't feel like seeing the warden, so I just I just left. I went back to my cell, and, well, thankfully the guard kind of forgot about me. And I tried to forget about, all of it and everything I saw. I mean, the bastard never even fixed my fingers.
Oh, man, Wait, so, you're ascended if you have torment but see the heavens, okay?
So if you really need to see the warden, for whatever reason, none of my business, I mean, that's the way to do it, I think. You meet the doctor, he'll ask you the question he asks everybody, and then you kind of give him this answer, and that should get you in.
I see your logic, but I'm kind of scared. I don't want to be tortured, and you said chained down, and these guys have bandages, and they're withdrawing from some drugs or something. That doesn't sound very nice. Just to meet the warden, I don't know. Can I share a secret with you, Mel?
Sure.
Can I do any kind of check, or can I be sure that no one else hears us, or talk a little quieter, or
Sure. Why don't you roll me, just roll me a stealth check.
6.
Okay. Say what you have to say.
If I know there's a chance that other people can hear it, maybe I will choose my words wisely.
Okay, well, why don't you also give me a perception check then?
7. It's a little higher than a 6.
Okay, so you kind of, peer across the cell from you, and you can see the front of the next left 2 cells, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are on the opposite wall of you, and it looks like there's you can see figures in the beds underneath the linens and the blankets and stuff, and it doesn't seem like any of them are moving as far as, I mean, there's nobody tossing and turning, but it looks like they're asleep around you, right?
You don't have to move to hear.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. But you're still getting those same kind of snores and sleep noises of people just heavy breathing in their sleep, or sighs in their sleep, kind of thing. A similar level to what you were kind of trying to fall asleep to before Rumpke got pulled out of the cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mel. I'm only gonna say this once in case someone else is listening, but I'm not a criminal. I came in here on purpose to save Constable Happy Lilton, and I'm pretty sure the doctor probably has him. So, I think I'm kind of screwed.
I don't know why anybody would want to purposely come into here. That seems almost as nuts as the doctor.
It really, really is.
If the doctor has this fella you're looking for, and you say your friend is with him too, assisting?
Maybe. I haven't seen him in this cell block, and the only other cell block's A. So, to check out cell block A, my friend Helkruk punched someone. Or slapped him? I can't remember. And now he's in solitary because he's gonna tell us what he sees, but also he's in solitary, so we don't know what he saw. Know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm trying to follow along. I guess bottom line is if you want to see the doctor,
yeah,
you just need a reason to go see the doctor, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you to the doctor.
Okay.
But it's a dangerous place.
Yeah, do I go into the fights then, or?
I mean, if you're hurt right now and you call for a guard, they're gonna take you to the infirmary.
Okay, but what if he tortures me and stuff?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the risk of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll sleep on it. I don't know. I was hoping I wouldn't have to stay in this prison very long. Because if I sleep on it, and maybe Delta comes back, then he might have more information, maybe Happy's in the fights or something. I don't know. Right?
Is this Happy fella a big guy?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm kind of small, so everyone's big to me.
What's he compared to your friend that got dragged away?
He's a human.
Well, if he doesn't back it on any size, I don't think they're going to put him in the fights.
Okay.
The guards want people in the fights that can win for them.
Right. Have you ever been on work detail?
No, unfortunately. I'm on the list, though.
Okay, what about Stan? Has he ever been in there?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just want to know what they're doing, because, like, I was kind of going to go on work detail to try to find Happy if he was in that cell block. Anyway, just keep it hush-hush, you know, and maybe if we find a way out of here, take you with me.
No kidding.
Why not?
I got about another year or so to serve.
Yeah, let's get you out of here.
Hey, that would be great.
Just don't tell anyone. Wait for me to talk to Stan. Don't tell him, okay?
I won't tell him nothing.
Yeah, we're just, you guys, I know you guys are just trying to keep your heads down, but if I can figure something out, I'll take you with me. I mean, I like saving people. Obviously, I'm in a prison to... Anyway. If you were me, what would you do? Have a stomach ache? Or wait till your friend came back? He'll be really confused.
I'd go back to sleep and forget I even heard anything about this doctor.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Could you roll me one more stealth check? You're trying to have this hushed conversation that starting to get a little frenzied back and forth.
10.
That same kind of surrounding ambience of the sleeping inmates around you doesn't seem to change.
Okay. I'll hit the hay. I'll talk tomorrow, alright?
Hey, that's a smart choice.
And maybe we can, you think on things. Information that could be useful, and, I don't know. I'm just a thinker and a tinker, and maybe we can figure this out.
Sure. Yeah, why don't we hit up a workout tomorrow?
Yeah, okay.
Just stay away from the bench press.
Yeah, I don't trust you with that.
I don't trust me with that.
Okay, night.
Night.
Rumpke, you're taken towards the same connecting door between cell block B and C that Oln had originally escorted the party through from C to B, kind of in the opposite direction. But rather than being escorted through it again, the guards actually take a right, kind of at this same intersection. Basically, you turn right, which kind of puts you on this southern traveled tunnel, basically, and they take you south down 800 feet. Straight to another metal door, again identical to the ones between block B and C, but this one does not have any type of letter marking it to denote where into the prison you'd be crossing its threshold to. But you cross said threshold into kind of another straight tunnel, this one running west to east, so perpendicular to the one that you just exited. And it's obviously still carved in the exact same fashion as the rest of the cell blocks. But this corridor, unlike the rest of the prison, is brightly lit, full bright light through the whole length of it. And you can see it stretches down hundreds of feet to your left and right. And there are no cells that line this tunnel. The occasional room you do pass as you're led west, you see that they're filled with storage lockers, also some cots, but they look like they're very clearly of much higher quality than those found in the cells for the inmates. Some of those cots are occupied by a slumbering guard by the looks of it. So clearly this is a whole other section of the prison that isn't part of an existing cell block. It's very clear to you being walked through it. But finally, you're taken to another metal door that leads to a set of spiraling stairs. And this isn't a door that blocks the tunnel you're in, but it's basically like an offshoot, as if you're walking into another room off of this tunnel. As you turn down these stairs, you can still see far down to your west. You can probably see another 1,000 feet down in this brightly lit corridor, very straight corridor, to where you actually do see another large metal door set in the stone that blocks further access in this tunnel as well. So, as you're seeing more of the prison, you're seeing more of the security layers, basically, that, depending on the situation, you're being escorted through them or stopped before them, or whatever the situation calls for. But these stone steps you step down, they're slick with filth and grime. There's definitely mold, and they're wet. And as you descend, the air grows warmer, and you get the distinct fetid smell of sewage very strongly emanating up these steps. In addition, you hear a murmur of chatting voices, basically. They too grow louder as you reach the bottom of the steps, and you find yourself what looks like a laundry area. There's a number of tables in the middle of this area. There's a large metal tubs of water. They're set and boiling over burning furnaces that they look like they're chiseled into the rock itself. So like the smoke is like going up as if there's clearly some type of hole bored in the stone, so the whole passageway isn't filled with smoke right from these burning fires. In addition, there's like a wheelbarrow filled with dirty laundry, just again used for transport, additional empty tubs for filling and moving water. In one corner, it actually looks like there's some type of like a hand pump, like clearly a well or some source of water to draw from. How fresh it is, maybe up for debate, but cleanish water, clearly meant to launder linens and inmate clothing, etc. In addition to this main area, there is another lower area, and a set of stairs kind of descends into it like 10 feet down from where you first originally entered. And this area is about 30 by 30 feet, right? You can see down there's a number of like drying racks, and it looks like they've all been just like pushed to one side of this space, like basically to clear it out, right? And there's, again, linens and sheets and inmate garments on these drying racks, again, hung to dry after being laundered. In addition to those in this little pit area, there's an actual hole, like a 5 foot hole in one corner of it. And as you would draw closer to it, this is clearly the source of the sewage smell that's emanating into this room. Next to the set of stairs that leads into this lower area, basically this whole like one of four walls in this kind of square cutout is like a metal railing, right? And you see there's about 6 or 7 guards that are already assembled at this railing, like as if to overlook this lower area, clearly been makeshift into some type of fighting pit, right? And this is where, of course, the sound of the chatting voices is coming from. And you definitely do see and recognize Officer Hewell is among them. He was, of course, the officer that stopped Oln and the rest of the party as he was transferring you and said, nope, this one still fights for C block. I don't care what block he's living in. So your escorting guards, like, they kind of give you a shove down that flight of stairs into the pit, and then they kind of join the assemblance of officers at the railing, right? Pacing back and forth, cracking knuckles, rolling shoulders, like limbering up, is another inmate in this lower area. Clearly your opponent. You don't recognize this inmate. He does appear human, though. But he has a very short and thick build, like closer to yours, like closer to a dwarf's. So he's very short. He's maybe only 4 inches taller than you are. So for a human, he's like very short and stocky, but clearly similarly built and sized to you. And one of the guards from the crowd kind of speaks up over the chatter. You all know the stakes here, gentlemen. Fighting for Block D, inmate 769-45873. Fighting for Block C, inmate 899-65423. It's time to fight. And we'll immediately roll initiative.
Okay, 21.
Despite how ready your opponent seemed to be already, who's sitting here waiting for you to show up, you quicker on your feet and get to act first.
Okay, so as soon as he says, I'll sort of be sizing him up as they're talking and sort of walking a little bit closer, checking out, he's just a little bit taller, looking for weak spots, seeing how he's holding his arms. I sort of crack my knuckles too. And sort of give him a little bit of smile, and they say, as soon as he says, let's get started, I just punch him right in the face. Just wail right into him. Uppercut right to the jaw. 17 to hit.
That hits.
And that's 5 bludgeoning damage. I sort of, cock him up the side, sort of as his head tips back. I'm going to take it and go in with my left to try to give him the old balance out on his face. It's an 18 to hit for bludgeoning damage. And then just to give him the old one too, as a bonus action, I'm sort of, lean back and waylay back right into his gut to 13.
That one misses.
So I sort of swing at his gut. He's sort of leaning back. I pull my punch a little bit back and then sort of take 2 or 3 steps back to give him, so he has to come at me.
And he immediately, shaking off your blows, he does so immediately grab, and he attempts to wrap you up. Throws at an arm for a 21.
Oh yeah.
You take 6 bludgeoning.
Okay, so before he goes any further, I'm gonna do my reaction then. Do a counter punch, and so I get to try to hit him. 21 to hit. So 21 to hit. That's 9 bludgeoning damage. And it says I get to add my brawling die to the attack roll, plus 3, makes it 24. And it says if the brawling die attack is higher than the attacking creature's attack, it becomes a miss.
Very good. He attempts, he just lashed up with his right. You get a left up the block, and boom, counter. And again, he shakes it. You seem to momentarily daze him, and then he'll round again for a second strike of his own. Ooh, this one is a dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah. 19.
Okay, that's going to be... This one will be 5 bludgeoning. And as the two of you are trading blows, the guards are erupting in cheers, right? I don't know how much you'd be able to notice, but Huel is just he's got his arms crossed and just basically taking everything in. He's not quite as uproarious as the rest of the guards seem to be. But clearly looks like he's enjoying himself as you're landing more blows than your opponent. One of the guards, the guard that basically kicked off the fight, says, "Let's spice things up a little bit." He basically takes 2 clubs and throws them into the center of the ring. And it's your next in initiative.
Okay, so I sort of look over at the club, and as it rolls up next to my foot, I sort of just kick it away, and look over at him, over at my opponent, and go, "You need a club? You gotta have something to hit me with? Why don't you use your fist there?" And then waylay into him again. Oh, that would be a 1.
Ooh. So critical fail, which means the next attack made against the person or thing that critically fails will be made with advantage. So that was only your first attack, though, right?
Yep. All right, so I sort of swing hard, trying to, get him off center, and I lose my footing. I sort of fall down. My body sort of leans down, and before he has a chance to just pummel the back of my head, I come back up with an uppercut.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give you your choice because you're kind of in mid-attack here. You can either make your second attack with disadvantage or let him have advantage on his first attack because of your critical fail. I'll let you choose which one you want to roll with.
Interesting. No, I'll let him have advantage. I'm pretty hard to hit, so I'm gonna try to go in and just do an uppercut to him. 22 to hit, 6 bludgeoning damage, and then I've got to use my bonus action to do the old 1-2 again. So as I come back up, I sort of plow him sort of into the chest, and then try to plant my other fist right into his face. 17.
Yep.
7 bludgeoning damage, and again I sort of jump back away from him 2 or 3 feet, or just go about 10 foot back, because I can move back if I can, if he doesn't hit me, and sort of give Officer Huel a bit of a smile, and like I don't need a weapon.
And you see he kind of returns the smile and gives you a nod. And if you are, he will try to take an attack of opportunity, however, if you're stepping more than 5 feet away.
I am.
Which would be his next attack, so this would be advantage on this. Advantage is a critical hit.
Woo!
And, I mean, lucky for you, he hasn't picked up a club yet, but he does catch you as you kind of looking at Huel, with your giving him a shrug, and then you just take one right to the side of the face. So full and roll is only going to be 8 bludgeoning. I did roll only a 1 on that d4. But it is his turn, and he is looking. He's definitely bloodied. He's he's starting to slow already. He does, though. He will use the interact object to pick up one of these 2 clubs, the one you didn't quite scatter away. And again, he'll just lunge at you, close the distance. Try to kind of wrap you up again here. 21 to hit.
That hits.
Now with the club, going to be 7 bludgeoning.
Oof.
And he's got you grappled now. You're wrapped up, so your speed is 0. And he'll just try to lean into you basically as you're, clinched up with the haymaker here. Ooh, that's only an 8 to hit, though.
Oh, good.
Back to the top. Again, the same guard. as you're reeling, and now you're kind of wrapped up here. I don't know how you're looking, but this again, your opponent is looking pretty bad, though he's feeling a little more confident with this club in his hand. But this same guard kind of produces 2 vials, and you can see they're filled with like a bright green liquid. And he again basically kind of fold them up in a bit of cloth because they're glass, right? And he kind of throws them again at basically your feet there. And you're next in initiative.
2 glass vials fall to the floor at my feet.
Yeah, he basically, and they got a bright green liquid. They're like a vial, like the size of like a potion you would take, basically, right?
Would I have any indication of knowing what a green vial that looks like that? Have I ever seen anything like that before?
You can make me an Arcana disadvantage.
Okay, that would be a 1.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely can't identify what's in them. But, kind of looking up, and you catch Huel's eye again, and he, nods towards the potion.
Does this guy have me in a headlock, or is he just grasping me?
He's, grasping you, basically. He's got one arm around you, and then he's, already pulling back with the club to follow up on a hit.
So I can't move, but I can attack.
Yes. The only thing is your speed is simply 0 right now, unless you wanted to try to take an action to break the grapple, which you can attempt to.
I think what I want to try to do is sort of slide my foot underneath his feet and then push myself back to sort of smash down onto the floor, to crush him underneath of my body weight.
Okay, sure.
So, do we want to do just a regular unarmed strike?
You know what? I'm gonna consider this you trying to break the grapple.
Okay.
So the escape DC is only 13. You can make either athletics or acrobatics, whatever you'd like.
Well, athletics all day long for sure. So here we go. Okay, 11.
Okay, you try to trip him up, but you wrap up one leg and he just kind of falls back on his other, catching, stopping your momentum of you trying to pull him down to the ground.
Okay, can I reach these vials from where I'm at, or am I gonna have to break the grapple to do so?
You can reach them. The 2 of you being as low to the ground, you could definitely get down and grab them.
I don't have monkey arms. Okay, then I think for my second action, I will try to grab the cloth with both vials in it.
Okay.
And hell, at this point, can I open them with my other hand? Just
you again, you're not restrained or anything. It's simply 0 movement. So another house rule for us is drinking a potion as a bonus action. So if you still have a bonus action, then yes, you can drink one of them.
I do have a bonus action left. And you said that Huel looked at me and gave me a nod, right?
He did.
Okay, so I'm going to assume, even though healing potions that I've seen in the past probably come in different flavors, but mostly red, I would assume. But I'm risky, and I just don't want him to have whatever it is, because I don't want this guy healing up. So I'm going to assume this is some kind of healing potion, and I'm going to down them. Both of them. I pop the lids and down them.
Okay.
That's my bonus action.
Technically, your bonus action will only allow you to drink a single potion.
Okay. All right.
Now, I would have let you use your action if you didn't try to already escape the grapple to drink the second one, but you'll get one of them down for sure.
But I'm holding both, so he's going to have to pry it from my hand.
You absolutely will have to struggle it away from you. Okay, so as you uncork this and drink, it tastes sour, like it's green, like sourpuss alcohol, right? And it tastes like green apple sour going down. You have a chance to resist the effects of it. If it's a DC 15 Constitution save, if you want to purposely allow the effects to take effect, you can fail it on purpose. I'll let you do that if you want.
Hey, I downed it. I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay. Instantly, your body floods with warmth, almost similar to you popping off a smite, right? That energy, that warm energy spreading across you, and then it quickly starts to burn, as if there's acid and your blood is just starting to boil in your veins, the bicep vein down your arms and your forearms. Instead of it being like popping with like blue under the skin or red under the skin, it's now turning green as it stretches across your skin, and you feel like incredible right now. Your opponent like squeezing you right still with an arm around you, and before it was like this concussive force he's applying to you, right, and uncomfortable, but it like feels good. It doesn't feel painful at all. So this lasts for 1 hour. This is a dose of superior stupor that you have drank.
Oh no.
When reduced to 0 hit points, you do not fall unconscious. Instead, you can incur additional damage equal to your HP total and keep fighting, so that you would represent that as a negative. So what's your total hit points?
64.
Okay, so you can be reduced to negative 64.
Jesus.
Now, if you incur more than twice your HP total in damage, your heart explodes with a cry of ecstasy and a smile on your face, and you instantly die.
Well, hell, if you're gonna go happy, right?
That's right. And again, like all of the bruising and like, yeah, your adrenaline's pumping, but still like the numbness from the punches, like that's fading away, and that all just like starts to feel good. Like you don't feel any pain from the damage you've already inflicted right now. You feel great.
All right. And I had no idea this is stupor, right? I still don't.
You don't know like what you still don't know what you've taken. Rumpke does not know what he's taken technically. Now, afterwards we'll let you roll some checks because you've had lots of conversations about stupor, etc., etc. But yes, in this moment, like you don't know what you've taken still, but you definitely know it's making you feel fantastic and like you could keep fighting forever.
Okay.
Your opponent sees you've drank this, and he now starts to grasp for the second vial out of your grip. So let's do a contested strength, athletics, whatever you'd like to do, as he tries to rip it out of your hands. Oh, he gets only a 6. He rolled a 1.
I got an 11, so we did okay.
Well, that was his action to try to grab it from you. Unsuccessful. Still maintaining this grapple on you, though. Now he's got like one arm hooked around you and one hand on your hand trying to get this vial from you. So you've still got like a free hand to do whatever you want. I mean, obviously you're technically still grappled, but that's what he did. You're up again.
I think what I'll do is I'll take the other bottle of stupor and smash it against the wall.
Okay.
That'll be my bonus action, I guess. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a haymaker. Let's see, I'm going to deal maximum damage if I land a blow onto him. That's a 13 to hit.
That is just a miss. His AC's 14.
All right, now I'll do my second attack then, and hopefully I can hit with that. That's a 9. Okay, so
Okay.
not doing too well on the after the stupor. I'm still a little bit getting used to this high that I have not ever felt before. So a little blurry, but he doesn't have a bottle now, so he's in trouble.
Okay, he is. So yeah, you see like as you whip it against the wall, it's smashing. Like you hear like the reaction from the guards going, "Oh!" as you do this, right? And you are missing your blows. Your opponent like has a similar reaction, and he just tries to bring that club around to wallop you. Adjusted 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Dealing a little extra damage because he has you grappled, but I rolled very low. 7 more bludgeoning, and brings around for a second strike. Second strike is only 7 to hit.
Oh, no.
And he looks like he is starting to tire. Like he needed to drink that superior stupor. His movements, his strikes are getting more and more sluggish as he's starting to slow down.
Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll plant my feet and I'll push back on him and try to run him up against the wall.
By this point of you like backpedaling and him closing the distance, backpedaling distance, you two are right up against the wall that the railing sits on. You like the guards are like peering over the top of you, so you can smash them into this little, almost like a half wall, and then amidst the metal railings as well.
Yeah, I sort of want to grab onto his arms and then lift him up, and then jump back and smack him against the bars right there where the guards are.
Roll me, why don't you roll me, okay, yeah, roll me a to hit. Yeah, roll me just a to hit, like normal.
20.
Yeah, definitely hits. Okay.
Okay, that would be 10 bludgeoning damage onto him. Is he still wiggling?
You have him now. You've like slung him around on your back in this grapple, slammed him once, and you can hear like the wind get knocked. It like breathes past your ear right as he goes, and he's like still barely struggling, still conscious.
Okay, do I have him up in the air a little bit?
You've pulled him, and you've like are leaning forward, and his feet are clearly off the ground.
All right, I want to just sort of roll forward to have him sort of go over top of me, sort of like a wrestling move of some kind, to slap him down onto the floor. I'm sort of like, all pumped right now, and I'm looking at the guards are cheering and everything, so I'm getting into it. So I was like, oh, watch this, they're gonna love this, and then flip and try to smack him down. So I'll do athletics again. This is only a 13.
I'm gonna let the 13 fly, and he's like barely conscious, and you basically like forward somersault with him, slam him against the stone floor along with your own body weight on top of him. As you kind of roll through it yourself, come up onto your feet, and he is just out cold, splayed, like a starfish out on the stone now after you've finished with him.
So then I sort of walk over, I pick up the club and walk over to him. I look up at Huel, and I'm like, do I end it?
And you see like Huel is like contemplating, and another guard turns to him and like whispers, like no, come on, that's not how. No, that's my best fighter. That's the best fighter for D. Rematch. We'll have a rematch tomorrow. And Huel is like contemplating, and he kind of just gives you a shake and no.
And I just take the club and throw it on the ground. I go, why don't you send me somebody that's worth fighting? And I sort of kick him.
And you see that same guard pleading for this inmate's life, basically hands Huel a bag of coin. Huel pockets it, and he basically kind of like calls you over. As the rest of the guards kind of like disperse a little in this room, nobody leaves just yet. But the guard that kind of paid Huel for the winnings, he's like barking at some of the other guys. All right, let's take him to the doctor. Block D guard and two others will like pick up the limp inmate, and they start to leave. So there's like about 8 or so guards left in here, including Huel.
Am I like pulsating with energy? I mean, am I like high, like in a sense, like, I've got all this excess energy I got to get rid of?
You want to keep going. You want to keep fighting. Everything, it all just feels so good to you.
Okay. Who's next?
That's it for tonight.
No, come on. Give me somebody, give me something good. I started to like push the racks over and stuff. Is there anybody else back in here? Come on now.
And some of the other guards like take a step forward, and Heel just kind of puts up a hand. Let the stupor work its magic. He'll be off the high soon.
Now I realize what it is. You gave me the stoop?
You took it of your own volition.
I thought it was some kind of healing thing. Hey, I don't want the stoop, man. Let's not do that again. I didn't need the stoop to take him out.
I would suggest you keep that in mind for next time, then.
I sort of give him a squint my eyes a little bit like I'm unhappy, and I start walking towards him. Well, all right then. This time, but not next time. Or I'm coming after you.
He again gives you that same kind of sly, sardonic smile. You've done good work in Block B, removing Jex from the situation. He was to be your opponent tonight.
Jex? This guy was the replacement for Jex? What kind of prison fighting pit you guys running here? I thought this was supposed to be something dangerous and such.
Well, Block D doesn't get quite their pick of the litter, like I do. And he will kind of come down the stairs to you and basically meet you. He doesn't seem to be, despite how pumped up you are, he doesn't seem to be like worried about being in your, directly in your vicinity. And he just kind of puts like an arm on your shoulder. I will have a list for you of other Block B members, fighters. Perhaps dealing with them before the fights could make us both a little happier.
Hey, I can fight, as you can see. Now, I don't mind winning these things for you, but what's in it for me other than just the pleasure of beating the snot out of these guys?
If that's not enough, a contribution to your commissary on a weekly basis is customary for winning fighters.
What kind of contribution?
Enough to buy whatever you'd like inside.
Now we're talking.
Perhaps I'd even pass along a suggestion of things to stock to Officer Rich. Things to be made available for you to purchase.
Sounds like you're talking my language now. Alright, if it ain't fighting anymore, then take me back to my cell.
And he simply nods towards some of the other guards, the same kind of four that escorted you. And they'll come down and basically, I mean, yeah, they like one tentatively grabs a hold of your arm.
I push him off. I go, nope, I can walk myself.
And they kind of step back and allow you to move ahead of them.
I sort of walk with a strut in front of them, like I just sort of, dominated and, they know to steer clear of me. I go, this way, right? Up the steps.
That's right, inmate. Back the way we came.
And I try to keep a good 5 or 6 steps away from them. If they start trying to catch up to me, I start speeding up a little bit. I'm not running. I'm just letting them know I'm leading them.
Okay. And they don't seem to have a problem with that. As you are moving through this prison, right, you've taken it after the fight, after you've downed it, very quickly, like the effects of the superior stupor start to ebb away. Mechanically, it kind of happens after, it comes into full effect after an hour of dosage, but you can like feel kind of lethargy start to creep in. So you can give yourself 5 levels of exhaustion as you come down, as you come down from the high of the superior stupor.
God damn. 5 levels of exhaustion?
Yes, 5 levels of exhaustion. Now,
Okay.
Once the effects are done, again, I'll just give you kind of mechanically. After the hour duration, if the person who had drank in it still had a negative HP total, they would then enter the dying condition until stabilized or healed, making death saving throws as per normal. But essentially just kind of gives you an extra bit of oomph, right, to be able to keep going for a short duration.
So we're on the 10 level of exhaustion thing, right?
Yes, again, our house rule is our levels of exhaustion go up to 10, and for every level of exhaustion you take a -1 penalty to all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. So right now you have a -5 penalty to all your D20 rolls across the board. As you're escorted back to your cell, presumably to get a sleep, so a long rest will remove 1 level of exhaustion. Helkruk and Kylia Seychadal, you exit the kind of now silent left-hand chamber here in the infirmary, to retrieve Happy / check out the underground greenhouse, one of the two. You can decide if you're going to do one or both of them. So you have Dr. Cockle's key ring in hand. It looks like there's 4 keys on it. And you can very quickly find the one that fits the manacles that keep the front room patients secured. It seems like if you were to try it on multiple, same key for all of these locks around here. But as you exit from the right-hand chamber, you hear, not so silently, you hear painful groans and grumbling voices. One kind of yelling out much louder than the other. "Doctor, please, another dose, another one. It's time for another one. It's time for another one. Show us the line, doctor, please."
Did we get a good idea for which vials he would use for which scenario? Like there's the red one.
So you saw in the left-hand chamber, it was clear that he was administering the red. He himself drank a bright green, and the group on the left-hand side of the first room where Happy is chained, they are in very similar conditions to the patients in the left-hand chamber where the fight occurred. Although it seems in that room they're progressed further into this kind of comatose, state, basically. So it's very clear similarity between the effects of the red stuff given to, Happy and his buddies out here, and then those in the left-hand chamber. And then, of course, on the right hand out in the first room here are the ones that are all cut up and bandaged. They, too, look like they've been rendered unconscious in some way, but not in, like, a catatonic, like, eyes open, drool out of the corner of the mouth kind of way.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, it sounds like pretty much all of them are getting the red stuff. It's just different. They're at different stages of effects from it.
Roll me a medicine.
And you said the person calling out was from which group?
The person calling out was from the right-hand chamber further back into this section that you haven't gone into that side yet, right? The doctor took you you choosing, I believe you chose the refuge from torment, I think was the one you chose to give Helkruk.
The red pill?
He chose the red pill, which ended up being in the left-hand side, yeah.
Medicine check for Helkruk is 15.
Okay, so it's very clear that the left-hand people, left side, red. The right side, not as clear that they received red. Potentially they are receiving the same thing, but most likely something different. None of them, though, on this side have like the similar like green veins that the doctor had when he downed his vial. But again, these people have been here. Like, Kylia recognizes a few of them have, having been the same people sitting here when she started the work shift like 12 hours ago. So similar set of people have been sitting here, reduced onto an unconscious state while the doctor plays with his other patients.
Helkruk, you go unchain Happy. I will see to our attention seeker.
Okay, well, just be careful. Don't get too close.
Seychelles will saunter off towards the voice.
Down the right-hand corridor, you step into an identical chamber as the left-handed one. Same size, kind of same layout. Walls lined with more filled cots. More inmates lie strapped down, again in a similar fashion, secured, unable to leave. These are like the 10 on the right side of the room out front. We'll call that the waiting area, so it's a little more easy to keep things separate here. But in the waiting area, much like them sitting there, they're in here bandaged, covering fresh wounds. You recognize Jex is on one of the beds. He's got, one blackened eye from Helkruk and Rumpke's strikes from this morning. His face swelling, not completely subsided yet from the fights. And he has green veins that stretch up his neck. You can see it coming up from under the collar of his prison shirt. And next to his bed, you see a duplicate surgical tray, like the thing on wheels, right, stands next to him, and it holds 5 vials of bright green liquid, along with a 6th empty one. And this is, of course, the same. It looks like the same substance that the doctor drank himself. And Jax appears to be slowly coming to after some length of unconsciousness.
Who was yelling?
One of the other 20 people in here. You see a number of them are awake. And are you stealthing in, or are you just kind of walking in? Doesn't matter if people see you, or what would you like to do?
Just walking in.
Yeah, and then as you're spotted, a number of them start calling out for the doctor and for another dose, and just like blathering at you for more, basically.
Shush. Shush, 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 shush. Listen now. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vials, and there are, more than 5 of you, so we have a little bit of a conundrum, don't you think?
I haven't had one since this morning. You should give me one. I've been the longest. It's been the longest.
I see. And they're all tied down?
Yeah, everybody is strapped with the leather belt loop and pin strapped to the beds like the comatose patients in the other chamber.
And after the doctor drank the green stuff, did he get noticeably stronger, or it just seemed to amp him up?
I don't know that you would have noticed any increase in strength, but definitely yes, it clearly had an effect. It amped him up. His the sluggishness from the damage he was taking and the wounds he was taking from the fight, almost like as if they melted away, right, becoming pleasurable for him. You remember you witnessed he cut himself up and made himself laugh at and giddy at how it felt, right?
Tell you what, What if I take these 5 vials and I put them in the middle of the room? And then I let you all go. Do as you may.
Okay, release me first. Me first.
Why? Why should I release you first?
Why not? Why shouldn't you?
It wouldn't be fair.
Well, how
I
are you
would
going to
have
release us
to
all at the same time? I'll help you
have
release the
your
others.
word.
I'll help you.
Do I have your word?
Oh, of course. You have as many words as I need to give you.
Bad things will happen if you cross me.
Bad things might happen if I don't get another dose.
That is between you and your fellow inmates.
And he's like clutching the sheets, right, and the mattress in his clenched fingers. Okay, whatever you say, I'll help you.
And you won't touch the vials till everyone is free.
Sure.
I'll go and release a little bit of one of his cuffs.
You like give him some slack, but not fully undone.
Yeah.
He immediately reefs up an arm to the extent of the strap.
Oh, now, you're not playing nice.
That's a twitch. That's a side effect. This is why I need another dose. I can't control it.
I will go to the next person and unhook them.
Like fully releasing?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as they're released, they dive towards the... You have the vials and you've collected the vials then.
I have them, yeah.
And if they see them on your person, they dive at you. And they're going to try to grasp them from you.
And I will cast Blade Ward. Whenever a creature makes an attack roll against you before the spell ends, the attacker subtracts a 1d4 from the attack roll. And I don't want to do that. That's dumb.
So it seems like he's not lashing out specifically, but he is going to he's just grabbing for the vials. So it's more of a contested grapple that you'd enter into versus him trying to strike you.
Smack his hand.
Okay, let's do a contest here then. He's going to attempt... We'll just call it a contested grapple, so let's do an athletics versus athletics. I'll let you do acrobatics, though, because you're the one kind of in control of moving out of the way kind of thing. Well, he only got a 9 as he lunges for you.
I rolled a 9, so that's a 12 total.
Okay, so yes, like he's got one hand reach out and you just smack him down and he loses his footing as he tumbles, in front of the bed in front of you onto the floor.
I'll put my foot on his head. Now, didn't you learn anything from the previous fellow?
Yeah, I'm faster than him. I thought I was faster. Okay, hey, I'll help you too.
Go unhook the others.
Okay, but I'll get first dose.
Go unhook the others.
And he tries to get up from under your foot.
And I will allow him, but back up a little bit.
And he will start undoing the others. Again, some of them... Jex is the only one that has signs of having had a recent dose. And he's definitely like fully come to now as some of the others are now starting to unhook more and more, right? He kind of starts speaking to you, Kylia. Wait, hey, what? Me too, okay? I shouldn't be here. I'm supposed to be off limits to the doctor. I got a fight tonight. What time is it? How long have I been out?
It is late. It is nighttime. You have missed your fight. That fight. You now have another fight. A more important fight.
All right, well, let me out.
How are you feeling?
I feel great. And he tries to put a hand up to his black eye. Of course, he's strapped down, so he's kind of pulling in against the strapping. One fight, 2 fights, I'll fight as long as you need me to.
I'll walk over to his bed, look back out to the room. Are they all unstrapped now?
Yes, absolutely. And they're just inching closer and closer to you.
And I will slowly, while watching them, unstrap Jax and then hand him all of the vials and step back.
In the process of this handing over, it only takes one of these inmates to make a move, and before all of them are starting to make a move. So why don't you roll me an acrobatics to get out of this room, as they are now all scrambling for these doses.
12 again.
Well, you're lucky. Having handed off, you're not the focus any longer. And you're barely able to slip. You tumble over one of the beds away. So you gave all 5 to Jax?
Yes.
And then Jax has a hand on all 5, and he just starts swinging wildly at all the inmates charging him. Helkruk, freeing Happy, yes?
Yes.
Freeing the constable, undoing his manacles, finding the right key. His bindings look like they've left the skin underneath just absolutely raw, red and raw. He faintly lifts his head, like his lips moving as if to speak, but like he's struggling to even make any actual sound. You're able to help him to his feet, and he's complying with any physical prompt. You kind of give him to get moving, but he's very slow. Like his feet never lift off of the ground. He just shuffles forward in whatever direction you direct him. And you can hear what's going on in the other room, and then crashing of bedpan and yells from the other inmates as Kylia slinks out of this chamber. Now you've kind of met back up with Happy unchained.
Helkruk, we need to go. Like, now.
What's going on? What'd you do?
We gave them the vials.
Oh, goodness. All right, come on, Happy.
I'm gonna put one of his arms over top of my shoulders to try and usher him along a little bit more quickly.
Wait. Where's the greenhouse, do you think?
Oh, right. Gosh, I don't know. Happy, have you seen a greenhouse around here? Somewhere they're growing plants.
His head lolling on his shoulders. He tries to raise it, and again his lips move, but he seems to be unable to speak.
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Kylia? Do we have time?
Did we see, is there a doctor's office or a separate room somewhere?
You have explored all of the rooms of the infirmary up here. Now, again, you do know that along the kind of large semicircular tunnel in which it's situated at the top of, no cells in this whole way. At either end, where it would exit into there's a four-way on the other side where you went for the work detail, and then on the east side where you first came into A, right, and then took a left instead of a right to go to Helkruk's solitary cell. At both ends here, you've got smells of something sweet, like that floral scent at either end of kind of either side of this long tunnel.
There was a sweet smell down this way.
All right, well, let's try and put some distance between us and that chaos back there. Come on, Happy, quick.
That's a very good idea.
Maybe, can you give me a hand with him here? He's not himself.
Okay. So, Kylia will walk over and kind of take Happy's other shoulder and try and relieve a little bit of the burden.
Okay, so it's very clearly Happy is moving at half speed, but with your help, you can get kind of back up to a normal 30 feet of movement. Should the specificity of movement speed happens to be important, we'll leave that there. Exiting the infirmary, which way do you want to go down? Are you going left or right? If you're going right, that will take you down towards where, Kylia, you had the work detail, where the digging was happening. And if you go to the left, that will, of course, take you closer to the security door between blocks A and B, and closer to where Helkruk's solitary confinement cell was.
Do we recall, or Helkruk, I guess, did Helkruk notice more of a guard presence either direction? I guess I was never down where Kylia was I?
The only guards either of you have seen from your time being in Block A is when you have been escorted. So you haven't passed, even Kylia, you had basically circumnavigated the entire cell block A, essentially, taking the baby Bullet back and then moving back to get to B before being interrupted by the doctor. The only other guard in here was your escorts.
And you said right was towards the excavation area?
Correct, yeah, because now you're kind of facing south, right? So right would take you west.
If we go right, there's probably not going to be many guards. But if we go left, we're closer to where we need to be ultimately.
Well, I really haven't seen many guards down here at all. We might be able to get away with going left. But, I don't know, you've been out and seen more than I have. I've been kind of locked up most of the time down here, so I trust your judgment, Kylia.
Let's go right. And then you can see the new area. and it's more likely to not be anybody there to see us.
That's what I was thinking too. Glad we agree.
Right it is.
Taking a right out of the infirmary, Kylia, you've been down here, again, early this morning. You were down this very area. Helkruk seeing it for the first time here. You meet this newly formed kind of four-way crossing here. Helkruk seeing where the new digging has occurred. Can kind of see into this darkened chamber. There's no lantern set up yet in there. It is, of course, empty here as there are no work details that operate overnight. You haven't run into any guards. Doesn't seem like there's anybody in here. But that sweet smell continues to your left, which would take you traveling east.
We shall follow our nose.
And the sweet smell, as you, like you say, follow your nose, it begins to kind of waft over you, right? It growing stronger as you move down this tunnel. And shortly after the little crossroads, you also kind of feel a sharp rise in temperature as you proceed. You eventually get to where, like, you kind of walk into these drifting mists that kind of seem to hang heavy in human air that starts to, like, cling to and, like, dampen your skin and your clothes. Very high humidity. And you quickly find a heavy mesh barrier. It seems like it's woven from corded fabrics and ropes. And the mists, they seem to be, like, lazily filtering through. They look like about coin-shaped holes in the pattern of the mesh. So again, it's not solid, right? You can clearly air and there's some type of flow that passing through. It looks like it parts in the middle, like as if it was like drapery, like two curtains kind of meeting in the middle on a rod. And the two ends in the center, they overlap, and it looks like they're secured to each other, or one end over the other with like a set of hooks that kind of catch into those holes in the mesh. And it's clear looking at it, like the hooks aren't meant to lock you out or anything. As if you like kind of push on the barrier, pushing it from this side seems to like unhook them just as the fabric spreads and opens. Do you proceed?
Yes. Cautiously. In case anybody's in there.
I think Helkruk, he's going to take a quick look around left and right.
Kylia, maybe we could, plunk Happy down here for a second, just in case we run into any trouble in there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is there any, like, chair or something? If not, we can just set him on the ground.
You want to put him on the outside of this mesh barrier or inside with you? You're going to leave him outside in the tunnel?
Yes.
Does Helkruk object?
Well, he didn't until you asked that question. Maybe he does
well,
now.
I mean...
No.
Just put him
Helkruk
down
doesn't
there.
object.
There could be somebody inside.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Okay, Happy, just, do what you were doing before. Don't go anywhere.
Gently applying pressure to your shoulder again. He like seems to comply with any like physical prompt, and he just kind of against the stone wall and just slides down. And again, he just kind of like sits there limp, his hands kind of in his lap, head still kind of lolling. It looks like he's like very slowly starting to gain mobility of his own, really, right? As it seems like his head is starting to be held a little higher, still like very out of it, but clearly whatever the effects are he's under is just starting to ebb away. As the two of you step through, leaving Happy behind, abandoning him once more, perhaps, the mesh closes behind you, and the hooks catch again right as they close, and they seem to like secure themselves in place. The full force of the increased humidity and the sweet smell of flowers hit you, right? So strong it like nearly overwhelming. You also like catch a undertone of fertilizer, right? Of like manure as well. And in the darkness, you see long sections of dirt mounds, basically. They form rows atop the stone floor of this chamber. Growing in the soil, they look like they're in roughly 5 by 5 foot bushes, like kind of bundles of growth together, are large 7-petaled flowers. Their roots clearly like stretch and cling out from the soil and growing up these 30-foot walls and even like across the ceiling above you in some areas. In this pitch black, you do see sources of light and movement. They kind of flit around the greenhouse. You can count 8 of them, you know, some distance away from you. Glowing wings of about fist-sized insects that kind of lazily flap around the flowers. Think butterfly wings, that type of shape, like a 4-quadrant type wing on a central body. They are emitting a white light from like swirling patterns on the underside of these butterfly-like wings as they seem to land on partially open flowers, probing between the petals with a pointed, like mosquito-like proboscis. And the insect's lights reveal the flowers' colors to the both of you. The vast majority of them are red, but in sections, they appear to be in different stages of bloom, changing from like warm coloring reds to oranges into yellows, finally transitioning into kind of more cooler colors to greens, blues into violets. Clearly, as they seem to be changing to these cooler colors, the 7 petals unfurl more and more, wider and wider, exposing an inky black center, like a black pistil of the flower. And this chamber is vast. Kylia, even far beyond your 120-foot superior dark vision.
Does Seishadal know what these insects are?
You can give me a nature check.
23.
Seishadal recognizes parts of the creatures. Clearly some amalgamation or grown creation between... they clearly have this butterfly-like part flying around. They're very obviously meant to be pollinating these flowers, right, to help propagate their growth. But also that long, hard proboscis is very sturge-like, which, of course, a sturge is basically an oversized mosquito.
Are they attacky? What's the word I want?
Currently, or if you're asking if they are aggressive.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Are sturges aggressive?
Oh, sturges in general are aggressive, yes. Also, Seishiro would know that sturges aren't really a pollinating insect.
But a sturgifly.
But a butter sturge is. These butter sturges flying around do not appear to be hostile, or at the very least, perhaps they haven't noticed the two of you enter here, but there's been no, other than them bouncing from flower to flower, that's the only activity that you've witnessed so far from them.
Helkruk, stay here. I want to try something.
What, do you recognize these things? Or what are they? I've never seen anything like it before.
They appear to be a cross between a butterfly and a sturge. Perhaps you could call them a sturgifly.
I like that. I can't think of any other combination for the two of those.
Seishadal is going to walk slowly towards one with her hand out and kind of see what happens.
Well, based on your little sarcastic comments, they love when things walk slowly and immediately attack. As you cautiously approach one of these, and sorry, you were like holding your hand out or just kind of moving closer?
With my hand up to see if it would land on my hand.
You get within 10 feet of the closest one, and it doesn't seem to be concerned with anything but the flowers.
I will walk up to the closest one and try and touch it.
The flower or the...
The bug. The butter sturge.
Thank you. As you again slowly reaching out, you just very briefly brush against its wing, and the wing feels like velvety, like it's very soft. And you can see like the light is from the inner side, but on the outer side it looks like it's just like inky black. As you make contact, the white light turns to red.
Helkruk, don't touch him.
Oh, boy.
You pull your hand away?
Yeah.
And as you do, no longer making contact, the red light subsides and turns back into that white brilliance.
I want to go to a different flower that a buttersturge currently is not pollinating and see if I can touch one. See what happens.
As you reach out and again make contact very lightly with the petal, the same thing. It seems all of the sturges in the area, all of them emitting white light. The 8 of the butter sturges, immediately their lights turn red as you make contact with the flower.
Kylia, careful, don't go any farther. I don't want to set these things off. Maybe we can, go way down to the other side where there isn't any of these bugs.
I'll start walking back towards the entrance. They have to harvest them somehow.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe, this room looks huge. It goes forever. Maybe if we get far enough away, they won't know what we're doing.
Grab one by the entrance and run?
Well, that wasn't exactly what I was suggesting, but guess we could do that.
How big are these flowers again?
The flowers themselves, and some of the more open ones, they're kind of like an open hand, right? If you spread your fingers out. Yeah, the flowers themselves are quite large, about the size of the butter sturges themselves. Really.
Kylia, let's just follow me. Let's walk for a ways. Maybe if we get far enough away, they won't know we're messing with their plants.
We can try. After you.
Okay.
So I'm basically just gonna walk between it looks like there's somewhat sections or rows. I'm just gonna walk between the rows, heading basically directly away from the entrance that we came in through. You'd mentioned that seem to be in different stages of development and corresponding colors. Does it seem like the most developed ones were red?
The ones that are closer to purple are the most developed. The further open the petals. So the red ones are all but closed up tight. So as the reds turn into oranges, into yellow, they start to spread out further, right? The warmer colors kind of transitioning into more cooler colors.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when you're hitting the greens and the blues, they're half open, right? Enough for the insects to get in there and do what they do as far as pollination goes.
And Kylia was reaching for one that was wide open or more red.
I don't know. What type of flower? How far into the blooming cycle would you like to find, basically?
Well, if the bugs were near it, then it probably would be between green to blue to purple, somewhere in there. Otherwise, I'm thinking the bugs wouldn't have been around it.
Does it seem like there's a the section that we're in right now primarily has flowers that are in X stage of life, and if we walk to a different location, all of those flowers tend to be more in Y stage of life, or is it kind of just interspersed here and there?
It does look like there's some type of planting order. From where you entered, it essentially moves from red to purple across to the other side of the chamber. So the closer to bloom flowers will seem to be further into this chamber, to the other side.
Another thing we could try, Kylia, is maybe they're only upset about us going after flowers that are at a certain like life stage. You know what I mean? Some of them are more open, different colors. Some of them are more closed, more reddish.
You think we should try a red one?
Oh, maybe. We could try a few different things. It seems like they sort of give you a bit of a warning before they do anything. So, we could experiment.
Go for it.
I always wanted to be a scientist.
So I'm going to kind of maybe pick up the pace a little bit, almost jog, to put a good chunk of distance between me and those bugs. And then I'll reach for one that looks very open, the most far along in development. See,
the furthest in bloom. So you are walking deep into this chamber then to get to the right life cycle stage, as you put it. And as you progress further, Kylia, you were with Helkruk, or Kylia, you're kind of waiting at the entrance you walked in, or what's happening?
With him, walking with him.
Okay, so the two of you kind of moving together, and yes, there are rows and rows and rows, and it looks like there are upward of there's hundreds of bushes in here as you're moving 300-400 feet to the end of this chamber, and you get to a section at the far the eastern end where there are empty rows of soil patches, clearly freshly harvested here. And you are able to basically, right before the empty mounds start, you can kind of find right in that range that you're thinking, like some of the ripest, for lack of a better term, of these flowers. And also entering this far into the chamber, you do see that there is another exit at the eastern end, and looks like some type of blockage or piling of rocks and debris kind of at a southern section, which would be now to your right, where another passageway has clearly been blocked up or barricaded. And at this second exit, there is another like identical mesh barrier.
Okay, so I'm gonna just slowly reach out. I'm gonna be kind of like looking over my left shoulder back to where we came as I reach out toward a flower, kind of watching for the glow that's emitting from these bugs to see if there's any change in color as I'm reaching toward the flower.
As you make contact with one of them, their colors begin to change, and the closest one is like 100 feet from where you are, as you've made enough distance here. And if you remain in contact, the glow on them stays at this red.
Oh, come on, man. What's going on here? How are they supposed to harvest it? Like, you can see over there where there's dirt. It looks like someone's harvested some bushes here. How do they do it without angering them?
Maybe red doesn't mean angry.
I guess.
Should we go look through that hallway over there?
Yeah, why not? We're already this far. Let's go take a little peek.
So you make it to this second mesh barrier, and unlike how you entered, this one, to get the hooks to kind of unravel, you like would pull it open towards you, right? So like if you push on it from the inside, it just catches more and like secures the hooks within the mesh. Clearly, like if these creatures were to push against this mesh, it wouldn't push the curtains open because of these hooks that they've installed in them. So you very quickly obviously figure out how to open it for yourselves and get through it. So you step into a much smaller room than the greenhouse. This room appears to be like a combination of a storage shed and laboratory, perhaps. Immediately to your left, you see a row of wooden chests that kind of line the wall in front of you. Beyond them, stacked along the curving corner of this chamber, are a bunch of wooden crates. In the middle of the room are, they look like very large drying racks. Picked and plucked purple petals hang in bundles from the drying racks here. And beside them are 3 like 15-foot tables. Looks like they're equipped with like mortar and pestles, boiling flasks, like preparation boards, and an assortment of alchemical ingredients. To your immediate right is what looks like a large grinding wheel. At the a big like stone pair of circles that meet basically with a crank on it, and then a little chute for the grinded material to exit out of, pointing towards a pile of, it looks like fertilizer, and you can smell like the soil and the manure in it, right? Next to a collection of wheelbarrows that looks like they're like caked with soil, clearly made to move dirt and plants around. Further past them, continuing along this wall to your immediate right, it looks like there's a small stack of firewood, clearly there to feed 3 large fire pits or furnaces that are carved into the stone on this southmost wall. So clearly there's some type of like flue or chimney or tunnel for the smoke to escape out of, so it wouldn't choke up everybody in the room if you were burning something in this confined space. And finally, stacked in the opposite corner to where you've entered, beside another kind of 10-foot wide tunnel that serves as an exit from this room, are a stack of barrels or casks, like the kind of cask you would store wine or other types of alcohol in.
Hey, look over there on those. Like it looks like they're drying some flowers. Maybe we could just save ourselves the hassle, and they already harvested some for us.
But we couldn't grow anymore.
Is that what Opal was wanting to do, or does just need a sample?
Not sure what Opal was thinking.
Yeah, I'm not really either. But I don't know. Those bugs, they make me kind of nervous.
Seychelles wants to open one of the crates near the entrance, if she can.
Sorry, one of the chests or the crates. So the chests look like they're just like a storage chest.
One of the 3 chests?
Inside the chest, it looks like there's an assortment of gardening implements. There's shears, a couple pair of work gloves. Also, you find one thing that looks curious is it looks like basically almost like a tiki torch. It's like a kind of extendable rod, or maybe extends about 3 feet. And on top of it has, again, something very similar to like the lunar lamps and the lamps that light the prison itself, just set on top of it.
Helkruk, dear, look at this. I bet this is how they do it.
I come over to stand beside her and take a look.
Do I see a way to turn it on?
Yeah, roll me an investigation.
21.
Very, very quickly, you kind of figure out that the whole mechanism, the whole lantern bit, twists on the mounted, handle or rod that it's on, and it kind of reveals a curved piece of metal opening up to shine a red light.
Grab those gloves and follow me.
You know what, Seychelles, you're always surprising me. Good job.
Helkruk obliges. He'll grab some gloves and saunter along behind her.
She'll give you a look like, did you mean to be condescending? And then just walk out the room.
No, that was a compliment. He did use the open hand technique when he complimented you.
The open backhanded technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, back to the greenhouse.
Yes. With the light on.
Okay, with the light on, yes. And then proceeding to pick a flower then. You want to get like a whole specimen harvested if you can? Something that could be replantable?
Grab a red one, dear.
So red ones are basically like the opposite end, right?
The reddest will be closer to where you left Happy, yeah.
So I just walk through the greenhouse holding this light, see what the bugs do.
So as you have now this light emitted, you start, as soon as you turn it on, the ones, the 8 flitting around, now of course they've kind of moved into different areas, right? They all also turn red. But now above you on the ceiling, the inky black backs of wings unfurl to reveal 24 more of them hanging from the ceiling like bats. All of their lights red now as well. They don't seem to take off as you kind of move through now with this red light. They're all kind of just like, almost like in like ready mode, flapping with this red light now, kind of like this high alert type thing that you've seemed to have activated now, shining your own red light.
Does that have like a different setting for a different color maybe?
I was just gonna ask. Are there other settings on this thing?
Yes, with your investigation, in addition to the metal thing that you've switched or like rotated to open up the light source, seems like there's a secondary filter basically that you kind of slide around in the opposite direction that the metal casing rotates and turns back into white light. And immediately as you switch it and put this filter on, the butter sturges, the sturge flies, all turn back into white. Those on the ceiling, their wings furl back up, like disappearing into the darkness in here, right? And the 8 down here go about continuing to pollinate.
Try touching a flower.
Helkruk extends his hand slowly toward a flower.
Making contact with your white light exuding in the room here. It doesn't change the coloring of the insects.
So, you're saying you want me to like pull it up by the roots, take the whole thing?
Yeah, do that.
Oh boy, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to hide, but we can try.
We can hide it under Happy's shirt. And then he can keep it warm with his body heat.
I guess we can try. Let's get moving though. Time's wasting.
Walk towards the front of the greenhouse and wait for Helkruk to pluck a flower.
You are able to safely grab a specimen. You kind of pull on a section of one of these bushels or these bushes, and you're able to get basically a whole like foot-long stem of this red flower that's like closed up tight. These 7 petals are now wrapped up really tight, and in addition to the stem, a few roots and dirt, soil coming pulled up from the bottom of it.
I just had a thought. Plants need to be pollinated to reproduce.
Do you think we need to grab one of those butter sturges?
Well, I don't know. They look like they could be trouble. But now that you mention it, this one, do you think? I bet its flowers have never been opened yet, so it might not have been pollinated, and then it might not produce any seeds that could, if what you're saying, Opal wants to be able to plant more.
If we did take a butter sturge, we don't think Happy would like for that to be under his shirt.
Oh yeah, no, I don't really want to take one of these things.
It probably would tickle.
I don't like the size of its babuscus coming out the front of it. But maybe one of the flowers that's already open has already been pollinated, and then when it makes the seeds, they'll be good,
Yes, that is smart thinking, Helkruk. You often surprise me.
Oh, shucks. Okay, you hold this.
And I pass the one that I've already pulled out over to Kylia Seychelles, and then I'll run down the aisle back to where we came from and look for one that looks more mature that's maybe already been pollinated.
And you're taking the lantern with you?
I suppose that would be wise.
Probably a good idea, yes. So it does seem as you were the one interacting with this plant, caught in the light of your artificial wings, is what is not setting off the rest of these insects, clearly. And yes, you harvest one in a different. So what type of coloring you wanted? More like a blue violet, like that late stage.
I think probably like one that looks quite mature that will hopefully have been open for some time and will have had an opportunity to be pollinated.
Absolutely.
The things we do for Opal, goodness.
Yes, for Opal. Yes. Shall we? And Seychelles will walk out the mesh.
Towards Happy, back to Happy?
Yes.
Yeah, Helkruk follows. I think I'll just... Did you say this is almost like a tiki torch with the thing on top, so it could be like stuck into the ground? Well, I guess it's mostly stone ground, but maybe I could stick it in amongst some of the trees.
Yeah, you can try to put it into the soil and just, you want it to leave the light on? You want to close it up and just discard it, basically, or hide it? Is that what you're trying to do?
You know what? Maybe I'll just close the, close it off to, turn it off and then just kind of, lay it down beside the dirt, or so it's not so obvious.
Easily done.
All right. I follow behind Kylia out through the curtain door things and back to Happy.
Happy, hi. You don't know us, but we know you, and we need you to hold this under your shirt and hide it.
Yeah, this one too.
You get his head kind of lolls up. He seems, again, like he's standing a little straighter, a little more rigid, right, of his own volition. But his hands are still just limp in his lap. But he looks up with recognition to you, Helkruk.
Here, I'll help you out. We can maybe just tuck it in your belt.
So I'm gonna try and first I'll help him up to his feet, and then I'll see if I can, without getting too familiar with him, see if I can pull his waistband out a little bit and stuff the plants in, and then cinch up the waistband to hold it tight against him, and then shirt over top sort of situation.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and you quickly realize that a side effect of super is raging boners.
Oh my goodness.
You've already got a bit of a tree in here there.
You are able to, you can stuff away stems into the waistband, under the shirt, absolutely. Secure these two Mineralis flower specimens with Happy. Again, he's compliant still. So, anywhere else you'd like to explore?
We should probably try to get him back to our cell.
Yeah. I don't want to linger down here any longer than we have to as well. You never know. There could be a patrol that is on its way. Also, all that chaos that you set off, who knows when they're going to make it our way, too.
We just need to find Benito, and we can leave.
All right, well, should we head back to our cell first and meet up with the others to circle them into the loop, and maybe they can help keep an eye on Happy while we go look for Benito.
Yeah, let's do that. Stash Happy, find Benito, and blow this joint.
Ah, there you are, my friend. Just in time to witness the unveiling of my latest creations. Feast your eyes upon these vials of liquid wonder, guaranteed to add a spring to your step and a twinkle in your eye. For you, my friend, a special price. Just a handful of coins for a vial of boundless possibilities. Consider it a small price to pay for the thrill of the unknown. And remember, if you ever seek any more of my concoctions, just visit theincorrigibleparty.com for updates on my latest wares. Before you go, I have heartfelt thanks to Tabletop Audio and Sarastro Music for setting the ambiance with their enchanting melodies. If you wish to support our endeavors, head over to Patreon and join our merry band of adventurers. And don't forget to join our Discord realm. That's where the real magic happens. Finally, dear listeners, share the magic, rate us, review us, and spread the word. Let your friends uncover the finest tales this side of the material plane. May your gears turn smoothly and your inventions never rust. Happy adventuring! Oh, I forgot to mention, there's a World Anvil website. It's all on incorrigibleparty.com. Sorry.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.